What do you do when you're together for Thanksgiving, all in the same place, and feel like something should get recorded? I don't know, you end up sitting down and making up something weird. That's what we're here to do today. It should be entertaining. Trust us. Stick around.
Hi there, welcome to Fantasy for the Ages, the show where father and son and sometimes other people sit down and talk about things. I don't know what we're talking about today. I'm the son of that equation, Zach.
And I'm the father, Jim. Thanks for being with us today. We have guests with us who have been on this show before, but it's been a long time.
Always very special guests.
Absolutely. So, of course, beside me, my beautiful bride, Judy. Say hello, Judy.
Hi, everybody.
And then my partner, Rachel.
Hi.
Also beautiful. Don't want to get outdone here. Thank you.
Like father, like son, we find beautiful women to have in our lives, and we are blessed. So, what we are here to talk about today is just random stuff. But no, there's more of a point to it here, and I think you're going to enjoy this. If you do, don't forget to like the episode, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss anything else of our content. So what we do have in mind specifically is on the YouTube channel, we have a poll question that comes out almost daily on all sorts of things related to the various fandoms and nerdy stuff we enjoy. And you've been sharing your thoughts on all of these questions for months now. We thought today we'd take a look at what you've said. I'm the only one who's actually looked at them before, so I'll be reading them for the group, and they'll try to guess what you said, and then we'll talk about our own opinions. We are not going to do every question from the last 5 months. Okay, that's not what you get today. Just a few of them to have some fun with. I cherry-picked some good ones.
If you guys like this, maybe we'll do it again. We'll see.
It's distinctly possible because it's actually rather easy for us to pull together. You know, and that doesn't hurt. That doesn't hurt.
So here's the real question. How many of these do you think that Judy and I will understand?
45%.
Reasonable.
Okay.
I like that. 45%.
He did say he cherry picked.
Might
Okay,
be 47%.
I think you will understand 80% of the questions, but only 40% of the answers to the questions.
And if he stays away from horror, we have a better chance.
If it's multiple
And
choice,
I
you
kind
only
of
know
stayed
half
away
of them.
from horror because I'm the only one here who really gets into a lot of horror. That is
now,
true.
if we went for mysteries,
Yeah,
there's
knock
no-
him out of the park.
No mysteries.
So if
here.
you want a mystery special episode with just the two of them, put it in the comments.
Put it in the comments. We'll see what we can do.
If
we
this
aim to
video
please.
gets 1 million likes, it will happen.
sure.
All right, we're going to start off with some easy softball questions here. So just kind of getting to know our fans originally. I asked this question. Reading styles vary. I get through quite a few books per year. Not so much because I read super fast. I'm average, but I read at least 3 books at a time. Not counting professional stuff that I have to read too. So I read a Kindle book, I read an audio book, and I read something physical at the same time. Not literally the same time, that would be crazy, but different times of the day, different places. So
Sure.
the question was, how many books do our viewers read at a time? Their choices were 1 at a time. I mean, are you insane? That was the first one. I can handle 2. Definitely. 1 is never enough was the second question. The second answer. 3 for me, so much goodness to enjoy was the fourth one. And then finally, 4 or more, bring it on. What do you think won? 1, 2, 3, or more?
I always personally am a 1 at a time person. Now, I say that I am technically reading 2, but that's because one of the books that I'm reading is nonfiction.
Mhm.
And the way that it's structured is it's very easy to kind of go back.
But
and
do you
out
think
forth.
most
chapters.
people would be like you?
No. Well, actually, yes, I think that more people would be 1 at a timers. I think 2 is absolute max. You going for 3 absolutely is insane to me.
Zach?
I'm not crazy to be at a 2 to 3, depending on what you count.
Whoa. It is not uncommon for you to be at 2 to 3. Not that it's not crazy for you to be at 2
A
to
bit
3.
of both. But I do think that 1 is going to be the highest answer here, with 2 as a close second.
I would
And if anyone picked the 4 or more option, I know who you are. I actually do. You've been on our show and you're hilarious.
And you also may need to seek professional help because I don't understand that.
Judy?
With your fans, I'm going to go with read 2 at a time. With that, and I just think that you have a big reading fan, so I'm going to go with that.
I would hope that most
Reading
of
fan.
your
reading base.
Yeah, I would assume your fan base reads a book or two.
40. Yeah. I'm pretty sure you're right on that one. You guys are
couple.
mostly readers out there. Yeah. All right. One at a time had 49% of the vote. So it was a strong
Yeah.
majority
yeah.
there.
Yeah.
The second was I can handle 2. There was only one person that said 4 or more. So you know who it
I know
is.
exactly who you
Call him
are.
out. Call him out.
Now she knows who she is.
Do I know who she is?
You know who she is.
Oh, sweet summer child.
So that was pretty good. All right.
She is crazy for that.
Our second one here. If you recommend a science fiction or fantasy book series to someone, which of these, and there's 5 choices, which of
Okay.
these are you most often recommending?
Okay.
So of these 5. And I asked people about the Dresden Files, the Expanse, Malazan Book of the Fallen, the Realm of the Elderlings, or the Wheel of Time. Which one do you think our viewers
That's
most recommend?
All right, I have to hope that we still have enough of our OG viewers that Wheel of Time's going to win this, because that's where we started. It's very recommendable, though not necessarily what you recommend to people at the start. I do think of these, the best easy guess, go read this, recommend to just generally is actually The Expanse. I think that should win.
That's interesting considering it's more sci-fi leaning in my
This was sci-fi
understanding.
fantasy, not necessarily just
Well,
fantasy things.
This is true, but I feel like most of those on the list would lean fantasy.
Oh, all the other 4 were definitely
exactly,
fantasy.
Mhm.
exactly. And none of those are Cosmere, I don't believe, right?
Nope.
I'm astounded that no Cosmere series are on there. Just as
Fair.
like, theoretically. There was one that I don't even recognize, and 90% of the time I can at least recognize something
The
because
Malazan.
yeah, well, I don't know
That's
what
the one
that
that I've
is.
been on book 2 for a year and a half.
Got it. And that makes sense because most of the time when I can still recognize them, it's because that comes into the living room and then just starts word vomiting about whatever he's reading. So there is that. So it's not that one.
Thoughts, Judy?
Yeah, it's not going to be. I don't think it'll
Whatever
be
that
Mal-
was.
Well, I do know what they're talking about
Oh,
with
good,
that.
good.
He's read all of them.
He's
All right,
he's
all
read
right.
the core
of
series,
the core, yes.
all of them, and talks about it being a hard to get in, hard to digest. I think would be
Yeah, makes
better
your brain hurt.
term. So I don't think that would be the one
Has he
necessarily
recommended
recommended.
it for you?
And no, of course not. He's like, no, you will not enjoy this. Do not read it. He knows my reading taste. I'm going to go with the Wheel of Time as well.
Remind me what the second to last was.
The Realm of the Elderlings, who one
Which-
person in here has read all of.
Right.
That's me.
And it's that one, and that's why I know it.
See, and I don't know that one really.
It is very good. It has a good following. I don't think our fan base is going to be as crazy about it as
Yeah.
a lot of people could and should be.
Could be because
Just
I've
because-
spent over a year bashing the series.
And you know
You
what?
have?
That could do it.
I've tried to pull it back a little because I very much
And I
enjoyed
think you're
it.
getting there.
But I don't think it's gotten as much light on our channel because you haven't read it.
I think that you, Jim, would gravitate Dresden Files. However, I think your fan base, sticking to the core texts, would go Wheel of Time.
Well, the fans voted the Wheel of Time,
Yeah.
but only 29%.
It was close.
Really?
Oh,
21% was Malazan Book of the Fallen.
Wild.
Because
It
I
is-
put all this stuff out here on our
Yeah.
channel,
Crazy.
and Malazan viewers are fanatics. They love
Yeah.
this stuff. We picked up a lot of people because I have Malazan
Look,
content. here.
Malazan viewers, we respect you. We
Oh, yeah.
see you. We understand you. I don't know anything about you.
I don't know
but
about the
keep
understand
going.
you part, maybe.
And
You know,
spiritually, not
I
in
will-
content, just spiritually.
I will catch up. I will get there. Maybe next year's the year of Malazan. I got to push through. It might be.
it could be. Once you get bit, man, you'll just keep reading.
Well,
So it goes.
once I get it off of reading on my phone.
Yeah,
If I choose a different option.
we live by so many books.
But I have all of them on my
Okay,
phone
okay,
already.
Let it go. Let it go.
They were cheap.
Okay. Next question. Which period's novels most hooked you on science fiction and fantasy?
This is when
Not when you read them,
when they were
published.
Okay, so it's also not the time period
what
of
era they were published in.
Okay.
So the choices were books from before 1980,
Okay. It's not those.
or books that were published in the 80s, books published in the 90s, or books, and the question reads, the 21st century, also known as Zach's lifetime.
Hey, I got 3 months.
I got 6. Ha!
Youngins. Oh my goodness.
You just outed yourself to the internet that you're older than me.
So I'm going to go to you first, Judy. Which of those periods, pre-80s, 80s, 90s, or the new millennium?
Having you talk about it and where you kind of really started seeing it, I'm going to go with the 90s because that's kind of where there was some big sci-fi happenings going on and things coming out. So I'm going to go with that one.
Okay, fair.
This is sci-fi specific?
This was fantasy and sci-fi.
Fantasy and sci-fi. Okay. Will you pull up your analytics again? If you could just tell me. No, I'm just
The
kidding.
demographics
The
of our audience.
demographics of your audience? No, I'm just kidding. You know what? I'm actually gonna go 21st century because I feel like with streaming and everything, like even if you are an avid reader, getting exposed to like sci-fi and fantasy, I think is typically easier with a media boom and resurgence of like sci-fi fantasy.
There's been a lot of good stuff since 2000.
So I'm gonna go with 21st century. I'm gonna go with our lifetime.
What was the question again?
The books that really
What
got
was the
me.
middle thing again? Which period's novels most hooked you on science fiction and fantasy?
Hooked. So
Yeah, it's such a hard thing because I think there are a number of people in our audience who were hooked on sci-fi fantasy already before some of these eras existed.
right. That's the
So
trick.
it's like they automatically have to be pre-80s or 80s to 90s. But then there's people more in my generation who are going to be, they could be any of them. I personally want the 90s to take it simply because while I think there's a lot good in the aughts and beyond, and there are some good things from before then, it's the occasional gem from back there that you have to find, and those can hook people. But a lot that started in the 90s and concluded somewhere around 2005 to 2015, those series are some of the still talked about best fantasy series out there.
Opinion.
True to this channel, though.
I'm playing
So
a
I'm-
numbers game. 21st century is the only one with more than 10 years. Well, that's not true. Before
No,
80s.
that's
or
it.
before
Well, yeah,
70s
you've got
or
one or the
whatever.
other there. That's
I
true.
think if it was what era started the best stuff, I think it would 90s would take it. I hope that carries over to be what hooked people, but that may not be
No.
true. It might lean earlier.
Now, are there a lot of fans out there who got hooked with, say, something like The Lord of the Rings and that got them hooked? That's going to lean the demographic to that pre
That is makes the pre-80s
80s a really
big
strong
time
point
frame.
because that is if people came out and that was
That's-
one of the first things that they
that's
read kind of in the genre. I
That's
know a
true.
lot of people lean to that, or maybe the movies came out and they went back and
Mhm.
read that
Right.
and that got them hooked in it because the movies were really big.
Right.
Or
So
Which ones?
there's something about a ring.
There's
Don't
there's
think
some
about a
indie
ring.
I wouldn't know
movie,
anything about
director Pete
Jacko.
Jackson,
Yeah.
I think.
So pre-1980s did win this poll. 43%.
Really?
43% of
Because it's by
respondents.
publishing eras, I suppose. But
The books that came out in that era is what first sucked them in. Yes, The Lord of the Rings has a lot to do with it.
Yeah.
The Chronicles of Narnia
Narnia,
is back
okay.
in that
that's
time.
true.
The really early
The
stuff.
Wizard of
Earliest stuff.
Oz stuff is way back, and that was some people's earliest fantasy reads.
When we were at Powell's, we saw a first edition of Ozma of Oz,
Oh,
which
there
was
you go.
crazy.
in their rare books.
And while we in the older stuff think a lot about fantasy, there's a ton of great sci-fi from before the 80s as well. Some people got into science fiction and fantasy through sci-fi.
Define really great.
You haven't read most of this stuff, so
Fine. Define a lot of.
well, there was more sci-fi than there was fantasy back in this era.
Quantity does not equal quality.
Okay, come at Zach.
Sure,
people.
I'm sure
Go
there's
for it.
plenty of really good sci-fi from that era. I'm just very skeptical that there's a lot of really good.
This sounds like a different episode. So let's move on to the next poll question now. I actually have an idea for an episode like that. So this first hot take one.
Oh,
The Wheel of Time TV adaptation on Prime
Okay.
Video. We all
Okay.
know it was canceled after 3 seasons.
Correct.
yeah.
Which of these responses best matches your opinion on this cancellation? Here's what we asked our viewers.
Yeah, exactly.
Our viewers. They had choices of tragic and outrage, hashtag save what?
Okay.
Or thank goodness the adaptation was terrible. Or disappointed, show was hitting its stride, but I'm over it. Or there was an adaptation of what show? Those were their 4 choices.
I really hope it's not the last one for the sake of your fan base, because that would have made so many other questions so confusing.
I think there are people, both in just general fandom and in our fan base, that are very much in the camp of save Watt, and there are ones who had given up on Watt after halfway through the first season, and both were valid opinions to hold. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that the majority of people are going to pick the option where they're sad about it, but they are moving on.
Yep, I agree. Because there were things that people liked, there were things that people disliked, and so they enjoyed what they got. They're sad they didn't get more, but
I personally would still love if we got more Watt somewhere, somehow, but if we don't, I'll live.
So, in our responses to this poll, it shows our viewers are actually well-educated and realistic people, because there was no strong majority,
Interesting.
but there was a close tie between thank goodness the adaptation was terrible, with got 37% of the vote,
Really?
and disappointed, show was hitting its stride, but I'm over it at 35%.
Well,
So all saying, I mean, that's over 70% of respondents basically saying they had issues with the show. Half of them were like, but it was finally getting there, and I'm sad to see it go. And others were like, I'm just glad it's done.
I'm
Well-
going to go out on a crazy limb, and I'm going to say the 37% that were really anti the show were also the 20-some% that were recommending Malazan.
Hey, come on.
well, as the never reader, I am hashtag save Watt. So I'm just putting that out there.
But
Yeah, how else is she gonna
22%,
get it?
Yeah, how else am I going to learn? what you guys are talking
22%
about?
wanted to save Watt. It was only 6% that was like, what adaptation, what show? So, at least they were in the loop.
They
There
picked
there
that
was
for
a
the
show on. Okay, our next one. You finish a book. Any book you're reading.
Okay.
I've heard of them.
Which genre is most likely to be what you would grab next? And your genre choices were a fantasy book, a science fiction book, a horror novel,
Astounding that there's more
Or
than 2 options to this.
unsure, maybe something completely different. Those were the 4 choices we gave people. Of our viewers, what do you think the majority would grab for?
fantasy.
The channel's
It's
called
fantasy
Fantasy for the
for the
Ages. If
Ages.
it's not fantasy, there's something weird going on.
Hear me out. Hear me out. I think they're waffling. I don't think they know. I don't think they know on the spot. They don't like that kind of pressure. I don't like that kind of pressure. It's really anybody's guess what I'm reading at any given
Rach wants to give
time.
you freedom, everyone.
Well,
and affirm
I
your
want
freedom.
you to know that you are allowed, no matter what podcast you listen to, you read whatever you want to read, dear
I'm going
listener.
to give a little context. Rach is what we call a mood reader. When she finishes a book, she has to determine what's her actual mood, not where is her TBR going. What book does she feel like actually reading and engaging with? And there's a huge subset of people that's how they engage with their TBRs. Are you a mood reader as
Who
well?
has a TBR?
He has over 1,000 books in
And,
an
like,
ordered
Over
spreadsheet.
1,700
I'm like, I
books.
have to fight. Unless they're in a series. If I'm doing a series, I start out. Well, okay, except I accidentally started at number 10 and then realized it was a series. But otherwise,
See, that would drive me nuts.
I've almost
bought
done
like
that.
14.
I've almost done
and
that.
realized I had book 1.
I've almost done that. So,
and then you have to go back and you have to start at the beginning. You have to go.
But I have seen
To the
you
mall.
struggle trying to figure out, okay, what do I read now?
Well,
you
now-
I
know,
never
yeah,
struggle like that.
I
Never.
think mood readers, therefore, are gonna lean to that waffling answer that you gave. So I think that will have a larger showing than you expect. Fantasy will still take it.
Well, I'll also notably, I technically have a TBR and am a mood reader. It's just that I use Storygraph, so I just have everything I want to read between now and the end of the universe.
It's just not ordered.
Correct.
Okay. Well, the huge, massive winner was fantasy.
Fantasy.
Zach, you nailed that right away. 62% said
Hey,
fantasy.
I said it first.
Oh, you said it
She
first.
did.
He
Mhm.
agreed with you.
I affirmed
But-
my mother.
Props for Judy. Okay. Sci-fi only 22%. The lowest was unsure, something different, maybe 8%. So very small.
And just, all right.
People know
all
what they
right,
want.
all right.
They know what they want.
I don't know what
They
that's
want
like.
this. They want us. They're loving this.
I
yes?
want a 4-hour live stream where we go through your TBR and judge you for it.
Wow. Wow. It's a
Not
little
mine.
eclectic.
Hopefully not
There's a
mine.
lot of different things
It's-
there.
It's long.
There's not much
I know,
that's
I-
romantasy.
No,
I think you should try a little
He's missing
here and
out.
there.
no.
All right.
There's some good stuff.
There's good stuff. You
Here's an
just
easy
won't
one.
Like it.
Here's an easy one. But figuring out what they answered, no, I think that's easy too. Best Star Wars trilogy. These were referencing the movies. Okay. The choice was the original trilogy,
Yep.
Yes.
the prequel
4, 5,
trilogy,
6.
the sequel trilogy, or forget those, give me Andor.
Well,
So-
obviously the prequels.
The
The
prequel
original.
actually should have a bigger showing here than I think you would expect,
Prequel has been resurging.
but the originals will
The
take this
originals,
landslide.
yeah, no, originals gonna
Originals.
take it for sure.
And I think Andor might get more votes than the sequel trilogy.
Original 77%.
Yeah, there
Strong
was-
win. Prequel does get the second most, but it's only 12%. Jar Jar hate is real.
If look, if we drop the Phantom Menace,
Me so sad
I
for
think
that.
it's a better showing. But it's
I
rough to get
love
over.
Jar Jar, and I still wish we had
Darth
Jar Jar.
Darth
Jar Jar,
listen.
man.
What?
If you
Yes.
just
No.
if
I
you
know
just
when.
get past Star Wars needs comic relief sometimes.
But the
You
whole
gotta give it
midichlorians thing,
some point.
terrible mistake. Terrible.
Right.
But you are right. Andor beats out the sequel trilogy. The sequel trilogy, as I moved through these poll questions, more and more people were responding. This one only had 155 respondents, where I've got some later on, 400 plus votes. Okay.
But the
But
sequel-
of this, only one person answered the sequel trilogy.
and that person loves porgs. That
Or-
person loves porgs.
Or they recognize that Oscar Isaac is a good actor, as seen in the more recent Frankenstein. He did a
Oh.
great job.
Two things can
Brilliant
be
movie.
true.
Brilliant
Two
movie.
things
There
can be
is a
true.
review on the channel.
I didn't get to be a part of that.
No, sorry. All right. Which of
Rude.
these?
I didn't get to be a part of it.
Rude.
Because you're
We
too
had-
busy.
I don't think we've
We're
seen it yet.
so
I think he
busy.
did it like the day before we went and saw it.
Okay.
Which of these sci-fi TV series / franchises is the best? So you get to
Ooh.
choose from 4,
Okay.
and you must choose, even if you love them all. Okay, so the franchises I put out here were Star Trek,
Okay.
The Expanse,
Mhm.
Okay.
Battlestar Galactica, specifically the reboot series,
Okay.
and
Uh-huh.
everything after that. You know, not the original
Not the
70s
OG.
stuff.
Not the toasters.
And Doctor Who.
Ooh.
Okay,
Oh,
so
we
of
know what
those
Zach's
4,
going
It's
with.
got to be Star Trek or Doctor Who.
Our audience, I don't think, lean into the Whovians.
I don't think they do
And
either.
that hurts me. It means I haven't talked about it enough on this channel. It's my fault,
Put me in, Coach.
but
Put me in,
I
Coach.
think that's actually going to be one of the lower answers here.
I think Trekkies are so devoted. I think that if you are into Star Trek, you have, yeah, I see you. You have like a media alert for any time Star Trek is mentioned, and they would have dove straight onto this poll.
That's kind of a sex thing, by the way.
we
Only
need to-
sometimes. It's not necessarily.
Do we need to go?
Cut that out.
Not
Do we-
necessarily.
Do we need to go?
Anyways, no, I think there's an interesting thing with Star Trek here, right? Because there's so much, and so much of it is good, and so much of it is terrible. It is in a cheesy, we love it way. Like we can still.
You're
love
talking
it.
about that Spock's brain
And
episode, aren't you?
We can admit that there's a lot of bad Star Trek while still loving it.
Don't be.
It's
don't.
fine.
You know how
do
many
not hate on
different
Tribbles.
series there were?
Oh,
And
the
they
Tribbles
got
are awesome.
seven,
Don't. You cannot.
7
listen.
seasons.
Yeah, there's a lot that goes in there.
Back when seasons were 22 to 26
Yeah.
episodes.
I think if we're looking at
Within
genuine,
a couple years.
No, a
Quality.
year.
Well, no, I know, but like all 7 seasons were within.
if we're talking
7 years.
genuine quality of show, I think The Expanse actually might be the right answer here.
Right.
But Star Trek
versus
should win
actual.
based upon what is here.
I feel like Battlestar Galactica is getting
It's-
passed over, though. That is
It's a
killer
dark horse
production.
that's
Well-
very good. I don't think it's getting the votes here.
I think the fan base also very, very dedicated, just significantly smaller.
Well, you are right. Star Trek won 49%. So
Yeah.
not quite a complete majority,
But
but
dominant
pretty
enough.
dominant.
Just about.
Battlestar Galactica was second,
Okay.
Yeah.
24%.
Okay.
And then The Expanse and Doctor Who kind of splits with a 15 for The Expanse, 13 for Doctor Who.
Yeah,
The
I
unfortunate
figured
thing
Doctor Who
is,
as
I
well.
think a lot of the people who watch this channel who enjoy The Expanse are also the people that I'm looking for to bring Whovians into the chat.
So if you want to see Doctor Who content here talked about, put it in the comments and we'll get Zach on it.
And if
I've
you,
watched some, but he's way more into it than I am.
and if you don't, I might talk about it anyways, and you'll learn to love it.
Well, we were doing
We were
a
catching up.
rewatch.
We were rewatching,
sort
catching
of.
through.
We got through most of 12.
Most of Capaldi, yeah.
Most of Capaldi. We got some Capaldi left, and then I know that there's 13, 14,
13, 14,
and 15.
Yeah, we don't talk about 14.
No, we can talk
No,
about
we
14.
love talking about
14
14.
was the resurgence for a miniseries that David Tennant came back for a couple
Oh,
episodes.
So
okay.
that's what 14
Gotcha.
is about, because it's
All right, let's go back strongly into fantasy.
Okay.
There is one right answer for this one, per the fans.
There's
A very
always a right
strong,
answer.
dominant answer on this
Okay.
one. Which of
No
these
pressure,
is
no
the
pressure.
best fantasy wizard?
oh,
Do I really need to give you the choices?
So it's
Gandalf.
Gandalf.
It's Gandalf.
Yeah.
With the
I don't
option
know if
that
I
you
could name
wanted
another
in
one.
there as second place being Harry Dresden, but he actually got third.
That is also correct. The choices were Gandalf, Albus Dumbledore, Merlin, and Harry Dresden. And so Gandalf,
assuming-
68%.
I'm assuming Dumbledore is second.
Merlin comes in at 21%.
Okay, so pause. Which Merlin? Are we talking TV show
Just-
Merlin? We're talking OG.
just the OG
Arthur?
Merlin.
I think
Okay,
regardless, I think it probably got votes for both.
And that's and you
Harry
know what,
Dresden,
that's fair.
third place with just 9%. But Dumbledore only gets 2,
That's probably for the
Oh.
best.
which is the best fantasy wizard. And there's a lot of actually Harry Potter hate out there now, more connected to J.K. Rowling than the
Absolutely.
actual
Yeah.
intellectual property.
And I think a lot of the people who would still Harry Potter stand and want to pick Dumbledore already picked Gandalf.
That's
That's
True.
probably
I mean,
true.
Gandalf.
Yeah.
Gandalf.
I'm gonna say something so controversial.
Are you?
I read
Say it loud enough that the mic definitely gets you then.
I read Philosopher's Stone. I was maybe 12. I thought it was fine, and I never read another Harry Potter book.
Did you see the movies?
Oh yeah.
So she continues to live and lean into the never reader hashtag.
I promise you, she does read.
Yeah.
She's read almost double-digit books this year, I think.
Almost.
I've read more
at,
than
like-
Does that
the
count as
average
reading?
American.
She's at like 9. The average American does 1.5.
Dude,
or
how many
something.
have you read?
75.
And I'm at 96.
That's because we're overachievers. Also,
And I go out.
That means he finished the book within the last day or two.
I also finished a book with.
And how many have you read this year? You're
I
into
have
double digits.
no idea. I haven't.
She might
kept
be at
track.
10. I don't know.
Judy's the only sane one.
I'm like,
I ask
don't
her, she
count.
goes, I don't know. I didn't keep track. Nerds.
I know.
Read the book, enjoy it. I don't need to count. how
Okay,
many
speaking of
pictures are-
nerds, here's a wonderfully nerdy question. Zombies or vampires? Who
Vampires.
wins in a
Dumb.
fight?
I said what I said.
Still vampires.
I said what I said.
It's still vampires. Let's just talk real fast here. For the most part, vampires being undead are relatively unaffected by most kinds of zombies.
Zombies don't traditionally have the same
Now, there are-
firepower.
But what will our viewers think? I
Yes.
do a lot of zombie apocalypse
You do a
content
lot
on
of
here.
Zombie apocalypse.
Very little
content.
vampires so far. I've done
Vampires
some.
Still win.
Very little.
Vampires win.
You have not said much, my dear.
Well, I'm trying to figure out, if you're thinking who's going to win in a fight, are you starving them out? Or are you just plain killing them? Because
I mean, consider vampires do have to stop and rest. Zombies never have to rest.
Allegedly.
The only argument that and depends on your kind of vampire, but the only argument where I accept that vampires are losing this is if it exists in a world where it is literally just these two options left. Vampires run out of a food source faster because they can't drink.
Yeah, that's what
zombie
I'm
blood.
thinking.
Zombies can eat other zombies.
Right.
So I do believe our fandom was having some of these same thoughts in their heads as they tried to figure it out, because it wasn't, while there is a clear winner, it wasn't like, oh my goodness, everyone voted for that one. Vampires got 77% to zombie 23.
So we
Yeah.
were correct, and you were trying to lead us astray.
I'm just laying out the case. It's clearly 23%. See the other side of it.
I didn't need to hear the win in a fight part. You just said vampires or zombies, and I said vampires, and I knew what I said.
Oh, you need to read some of this zombie stuff.
You
I'm
need to
telling you.
watch Nosferatu.
Zombies.
I
are
have
very
watched
good with
Nosferatu.
steaks.
The new one?
Oh, yeah,
It's good.
it's okay. It's better than the original, maybe.
I enjoyed it.
No, I enjoyed it. I'm not in a Mustang.
So if you have thoughts on the film Nosferatu, feel free to drop that
I'm
too.
not into horror movies.
All right, let's go to the MCU now. Another wonderful nerddom
I've
place.
actually watched those now.
Well, we caught up through at least Endgame and then a little bit past. So she's watched most
So
of
she's watched all the good stuff.
until the phase that kind of fell off.
Do I have to remember anything about it?
This is
I hope
pretty
not.
simple. I don't think you'll have to. Which of these 4 MCU characters had the
Uh-huh.
best solo film? And yes, you have seen them all, and so have you if you've been through everything like he said.
Captain America, but Iron Man might win the vote.
So the choices are Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, and Doctor Strange.
Thor, if you ignore the first one.
We're just
Yeah,
saying
just
which
which best
had the
solo
best
film.
solo
Yeah.
film. So it
It's
doesn't
not
matter if
Doctor
they have a
Strange.
clunker. Which has the best solo film?
It's Captain
Okay, I
America,
think it's going to be
probably.
Captain America, but my personal favorite is Iron Man.
I know a lot of people who would pick Iron Man. I think they're wrong. I think Captain America is the correct choice for the most part, but I respect a Thor for the sake of Ragnarok.
I think the
Ragnarok
answer.
is one of the best MCU movies.
I think the answer is Taika Waititi. That is the answer.
Love and Thunder, I don't think was as good, but
I know. I'm
you
kidding.
haven't seen it, I don't think.
I've seen all of them.
Love and Thunder came out more recently. That was
Okay.
4.
We watched it.
I don't think we watched that
We
together.
watched it.
Well, what
Tell
they
us the
debated on the answer here was between Captain America and an Iron Man,
But
because
it's Captain
Thor and Doctor Strange both had low votes. Thor lost, but Captain America wins with 47% of the vote.
There you go.
Iron Man scoops in 30, so not too far behind.
Pretty
Mhm.
good.
I agree Captain America has the best solo one, but I do love the Iron Man
Right.
movies, except Iron Man 3, which is a little painful.
Here's the question, though. Which Captain America movie do you think is the best Captain America solo movie?
Winter Soldier.
You're correct. But I don't think that's what most people voted it for.
It's tough. Just the first Captain America movie is pretty good, but the Winter Soldier is pretty good too. I mean, they're almost a coin flip for me.
There's an argument
So
to be
we agree
made
it's
that
not
the
Civil War?
only solo
I
Captain
like
America,
Civil War, but that's not a solo Captain America.
It is a Captain America
It is
title,
technically Captain
but
America.
there's an
Civil
argument to be
War.
made that the only solo Captain America movie is actually
Is
the first one.
original.
Yeah, actually, Captain America Winter Soldier kind of.
Yeah.
Winter Soldier is a
But-
pretty prominent character.
Winter Soldier is the best Captain America, in my opinion.
So, if you have thoughts on that, drop them in the
Was it-
comments.
What,
It's
wasn't
a
the
theme.
question solo Avengers movie? Like
No.
Avenger?
No,
Okay. Well, I was gonna
just
talk
which
about
MCU
Winter-
character had the best solo film. That's
Okay.
all it was.
Oh yeah, because Doctor Strange was on there. Whatever.
And yeah, he's. I
He's
don't
not-
think he's ever an Avenger. He's a
he's not,
defender for a while.
reasons.
That group tried and couldn't get going.
Not in the MCU yet.
So, which Game of Thrones season
I'm out.
was the peak of the show?
I hear it's the
Did
last
you include
one.
8 just for comedy?
Oh no, definitely not. 7 and 8 do not appear in this poll.
Okay.
So choices were season 1, which is of course just as the reminder, all the initial stuff, and Ned off with your head. Season 3.
Spoilers.
Yeah, these people have seen this stuff. Okay.
And you
Season
at least know
3,
it, if not,
which
have
is
seen some of
most
it.
famous for the Red
Red
Wedding.
Wedding. Okay.
That's season 3, you said?
Yes.
Yeah.
Season 4, which is most famous for the purple wedding.
Is that really what it's most famous for?
It's the scene most people cheer for.
They do
Okay,
cheer for-
there were a few other things in
Joffrey
there.
dies.
And season 6, which is the
Interesting.
Battle of the
Battle of the
Bastards.
Bastards
Okay,
is
and
big.
all that Winterfell stuff.
It is very good.
So, those are the 4 choices I gave people. What do you think they picked?
3.
3. I was
Meaning
gonna, I was gonna
season
say
3 or choice 3?
Season 3.
Season 3.
Wow,
I-
they're
I've not seen a single episode of Game of Thrones, but I remember where I was when people were like first talking about the Red Wedding.
I'm going to call these shots. 3-1. It's not that close. It's at least like a 8 to 10% difference between first place and second place. Then it's a tie between seasons 1. Well, not perfect tie, but 1 and 6. It's a toss up. I think 4 gets last place. And it's going to be really funny if I'm completely wrong and that's first place.
I don't think 1 and 6 are as close as you think, because I think 1 is too much setup and too much. The fans were not as into the show yet. And so by the time they get to those later ones,
I think there's a recency bias. I think post 8, people look back and go, look where we started. It was so good. And that's why 1 gets a little bit more of a kick, even though the production value was a little bit lesser. It did pick up as it got more fans.
Here's a question: what's the rewatchability of Game of Thrones?
Oh, it's very rewatchable.
Pretty
okay.
good.
Then I think
Really
that
good.
would boost season 1 as well.
Well, I'm almost feeling like Zach cheated on this one. Supposedly, he hasn't looked at all this, and he can't see these stats because
No.
he doesn't log in with my login credentials. So season 3 won,
Yep.
39%.
Yep.
It's just 7% above season 4. And then season 1 was in 3rd place, but it's a coin flip with it in season 6, 15 and 14%.
Okay,
So he was
close.
So I
off
was
slightly.
wrong in
He
terms
was
of
wrong.
where I placed season 4.
Season 4,
I
he
put
But
had
the
four at the
coin
bottom.
flip.
Oh,
was
you
1
said
and
season
6.
4 was going to be
I
last?
put
Yeah.
it at the bottom.
Oh,
But
I
you did say
misread that.
coin
But
flip
everything
between
else
1
I
and
said,
6.
spot on.
And you did get season 3 was the winner. And about the percentage you thought, about there. Yeah. That Red Wedding, man. It was also one of the first moments, though, in the show that made me mad because they changed it. And they made a few changes that I thought lessened it. But they did do the Red Wedding very impressively.
I
Me
think
too.
season 4 has a lot of strength that we didn't talk about. That is Dany's arc. I think she starts really coming into her own more
Who's
with
Dany's
season
arc?
4.
Yeah.
I know it's a joke because you can't even try to keep a straight face as I look at you.
All right.
It was right there.
Going to another fandom area.
Yeah.
Which of these is the most iconic sci-fi protagonist?
Oof.
Luke Skywalker,
Maybe.
Mr. Spock,
Possibly.
Ellen Ripley from Alien,
Maybe, but no.
Neo.
Hmm.
longevity wise, I'd go with Spock. I mean, he's been around
We
for
read
so
the
long.
question again.
Which of these is the most iconic
And
sci-fi
th- and making
protagonist?
that
An
iconic.
iconic, I think, is
I think it's a
Spock.
good call. I think Luke Skywalker beats him.
I think it goes
Nah.
Spock, Skywalker, Neo, Ripley. Unfortunately, because Ellen Ripley rules.
I don't
According
think
to Weeble
Skywalker
rules.
gets as much credit because I think so much of the movies were not just about him. That was more of an ensemble cast. When you look at Leia and Han and Chewie, you can't do those movies with just Luke.
You shouldn't
all
do
of
those
them.
movies with just Luke.
Well, I mean, you know what I mean, though.
Here's my
Or
reasoning as to
books,
why
yeah.
I think
Movies.
the technical correct answer is Luke, and why I think our viewers would also agree. Because I think plenty of them do have kids. And there's something to be said that Luke Skywalker is the only one that I expect anyone ages 4 to 90 to probably be able to recognize if I mentioned. All of the others, I expect certain subgroups And once they like hit a certain age, or if you're too old, you might not recognize some of them. But Luke is pervasive to all ages, especially the way that
Interesting.
Star Wars properties have re-brought things up and included his character.
Okay, while they have had that resurgence now, who did you know more of at age 4?
I didn't say that this was true to my lived experience, and I knew Luke and Spock equally at that age.
They
And
were
I-
both very good dear friends.
And by 5, I knew Neo very well, and by 7, I for sure knew Ripley.
Well, Neo gets
Why'd you
next to
say it
know.
like
How
that?
did you know? Why did
Because
you
he
say
showed
it
me
like-
things at ages I probably shouldn't have watched them.
Why were you showing him that?
I'm
You
a
have
good dad.
no idea. You have no idea.
I
what
remember
they did when I wasn't
walking
around.
to the Hollywood Video to rent The Matrix Reloaded so that we could continue watching the trilogy.
He's almost practically dating himself. I remember walking to the Hollywood Video, and people were like, "What's that?"
Nah, most of our viewers are older than I am.
So Neo gets
Dang.
next to no love here.
Really?
Our viewers are like Matrix.
You're probably right.
Yeah. The first movie was great, and then the next 2, 3 actually now have really disappointed people in the whole Matrix
Look,
thing.
for Reeves, I think John Wick actually deserves more love than Neo.
I'm into the John Wick stuff. I've I've watched all 4 of those now.
I showed her the first the other day.
Oh, it's intense. I think you actually would like it. Anyways, Ellen Ripley is down at 3rd, and it's way down there too. So it was really between Luke and Spock, and Luke wins it with 49%.
Really?
Yeah, Spock at 34. So a lot of votes, but
I think
Luke's the one that's
I
got him.
think-
told ya.
Even with that sequel series where he just chucks the lightsaber over his shoulder, stupidest thing I've seen in a Star Wars film,
I understand.
and that goes beyond midichlorians.
I understand the reasoning that y'all had, but I get them.
I just think the key word is iconic. Like I feel like Spock, like I don't know. You could read into it. I think Luke Skywalker, you're right in the sense of like being.
I get how you
well-known.
feel. I get how you feel.
But I
I
think,
love me
like-
some Spock.
Like as a character, it's just so.
I'm not
strong.
saying you're wrong, but our audience did.
Yeah. So let's get back into
Can't-
Star Trek then. Let's give
can't
Star
win
Trek a
them
little
all.
more love. The next question was, who's the better Star Trek captain? Of 4 captains that I put
Picard.
forward,
Picard.
we had James T. Kirk, Jean-Luc Picard,
Yep.
Catherine Janeway, and Michael Burnham.
Who?
No.
Yeah, that's exactly what the fans said on our videos, by the way. Michael Burnham got like 4 votes out of 204 votes.
Picard will win this. I think and hope that Janeway will actually beat Kirk. I could be wrong, but I think it's definitely possible.
And you don't know Star Trek well enough to place these captains on which show?
Your
She
Honor,
knows
I
her.
defer to my co-counsels.
Yeah. Now you know where Catherine Janeway's from?
Deep Space Nine.
No.
No. Voyage.
Sure.
Voyager. Yes,
Voyager.
I was ready to be so
Well,
proud. And
They were.
Voyager.
They went.
You put her on the spot.
The
Ask
wrong
her
one
again.
just
She has
came
watched
out.
all these. She
Ask her
has
again.
watched
We'll
all
edit
these.
it in post.
Integrity, my son. Come on. But yeah, Jean-Luc Picard gets 57% of the vote.
Not close.
Not
But
French.
Kirk beat Janeway's butt big
Oh.
time. Catherine Janeway only's got 8% of these votes. Kirk's up there at 33%.
I'm curious to know.
He's the OG.
Yeah, I understand it.
I'm curious to know the timeline of in which, like, how long these captains were captain, because I would assume,
Kirk got
Way.
3 seasons.
right?
But then he
Janeway
got a
got
whole
70.
series
He's
of
a
movies.
Janeway didn't have the movies that the other 2
Never
did.
got
did
the
get some
movies.
She never had any
Well,
movies, and
Picard got a whole bunch
I
of
feel
good
like
movies
Kirk
too.
there
also
was
gets the
so
reboot
much
movies.
others. By the time
Yeah.
Voyager was on, and then it followed Deep Space Nine. Followed that, right? If I have my timelines
No,
correct.
Deep Space Nine came first.
Then Voyager.
Did it? I thought it was the
Yeah.
other way. I thought
Nope.
it was Voyager. Then
Nope.
Deep Space.
But that even.
But there
gonna
were
make-
overlaps. Like
but-
Deep Space Nine began before Next Generation was over, and Voyager began just after Next Generation was done, but while Deep Space Nine was still going on.
Okay, that's going to even more solidify my point in that by the time we get to Voyager, there was so much more science fiction and fantasy content available for people to watch. They may not have been as clued into that series, even though it did well, there was other things to watch.
Voyager
whereas
is a great
the
series.
other beginning
Well,
ones, there was less.
because
of
at
that
the time of Star
around.
Trek, like not Star Trek origin, like when Star Trek originated,
Yes.
it was like the sci-fi show.
Yes. Yes. There was nothing
I
like
will
it.
Right.
also say a point to why our audience probably leaned the way that they did. If for
Has-
whatever
No,
reason
he gave us the answer.
you
so it's
missed,
like, did we get
yeah, if you missed Star Trek in your growing up experience, if you came to this later, you're not going to start at Voyager.
No.
Not
No.
with that
You
attitude.
will go back to the original potentially. And by the time you got to Deep Space Nine, you might be like, okay, I get what this is about. We're good. And so you may not have seen some of the later Star Trek stuff, even if you did get into Star Trek later.
Or if you did only the movies
Yeah.
and didn't do as many of the episodes that were TV.
So a few sub notes on this one. Catherine Janeway, again, doesn't get much love here, but the actress Kate Mulgrew has turned into a heck of an audiobook narrator.
Really?
She's done quite a few. I'm listening to one right now. She's quite good.
good stuff.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Shout out.
She is the narrator for the audiobook version of The Invisible Life of Eddie LaRue, which you are
Okay.
reading right
Just
now.
started that last
Yes,
night. I'm very
yeah.
excited.
And there were quite a few people in the comments in this question going, hey, what about the captain from Deep Space Nine? And he never captains a ship. He is the
Right.
commander of the Deep
Oh.
Space
Station.
Station. So I didn't
Yeah.
include him here, but a lot of people had love for him. He is the one it's hardest for me to remember. Like, I'm blanking on his name right
I
at this
often
moment.
forget his name, but what I
Cisco, Benjamin Cisco.
That's
That's the
right.
name.
what I
That's
enjoyed
right.
about him in that show was his father and son relationship.
Yeah,
Had a
yeah.
fun
It was very strong.
board.
And the other thing is nobody said, where's Scott Bakula? From Enterprise, the flashback series, I love Scott Bakula as an actor, but that was just a weak show.
He was not my favorite part of that show.
I own it still, but it was a weaker show. Okay, so that's that one. Let's see. Next up, this is what we asked our viewers.
Oh no.
If you've been long with our channel, it's no secret that I love a long epic fantasy series.
Mhm.
Bring on the Wheel of Time, Malazan, or Shannara. But how about you? What's your actual reading preference? And I gave them 3 options. Long fantasy epics, the perfect fantasy trilogy, or give me a great standalone novel any day. What's the preference? And what do you think they picked?
I think trilogy takes the
Trilogy.
cake.
I think trilogy should be the answer. Yeah, no, that's the end of the statement.
Okay,
Yeah, no, that's it.
so that's what you think they've picked. Now, personally,
I actually think my perfect length for a series is about 5. I think 5 gives you enough to be closer to a bigger long
the
epic.
pentology.
Yeah, it's closer to the big long epic. It lets you explore a little bit more than a trilogy, but it's not. Oh, I have to commit to 15 books.
So, like the Lightbringer series by Brett
Lightbringer
Weeks.
is great example of how long a series should
We
be.
talked about that in the episode that dropped today, and somebody said, Brett Weeks, is he YA? I can never find his books anywhere. No, he's not
It's
YA.
good, and you can find it
I
on the
told him they're
shelves.
there. Keep looking. So you'd say 5 would be your preference.
I often lean towards trilogies, if only so that I can read more things by more authors and not get bogged down into one thing.
Judy, how about you? Of those 3,
If I'm going to get into fantasy sci-fi type books and I really love the characters, I can go for 8, 9, 10 books.
as recently demonstrated by reading Terry Goodkind's The Sword of Truth series,
I've read that.
You
I've
finished
read.
all that?
I
The
did the
core.
core.
Okay.
I've read
which
the core.
was 11 or 12?
11.
11 books.
Yeah, I've
Not
done
short
all of,
books.
I've done all of Wheel of Time.
Mhm.
I have some other series that are kind of sci-fi adjacent type things where,
Give a little
I've cer-
love because somebody out there go, oh, I love those too.
I'm a J.D. Robb fan. I love that series, the
In
In
Depth.
Depth series, and I've read them all. So something
That's
where
like
you
30 books or something, right?
try doubling that.
They're shorter. They're like Dresden File size.
They're about
Some of them get to be
they're
like 5, 6.
400, 500, 600 pages. I think.
That's too much.
Sure, they're not
you know.
1,300 plus, but not many
Yeah,
books are.
Yeah.
They didn't have to create a whole new printing press.
It's like,
Right.
okay, I
Right.
get you. It's like, I know this character. I've come to love them, and tell me more about what's
See, that's
they're
the point.
doing
You're saying
next.
once you invest in something, you don't mind sticking around a while.
exactly.
Now, I know you do often love a standalone.
I love a standalone. I think part of it is being a mood reader. So like having the ability to comfortably, because I also, when I read a trilogy or a series of whatever, a duology, whatever it is, I would rather just read them boom, 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 boom. If they're literally not out and that's not an option, I'm not crazy and going to just stop reading until that happens. But there's something about like the flow state of just moving through it. So with that, usually for me, preferring that method, anything over a trilogy is where I start to like lose steam. After that, it kind of turns for me personally into more of a trek. I think I gravitate towards standalones, partially because I'm not usually in the sci-fi fantasy realm where longer series are more prominent, but also just I think that a trilogy kind of typically is able to wrap things up in a pretty little bow. I don't think I've done more than a trilogy since like high school.
Okay.
I've done plenty of trilogies, but
Well, our fans reflect our preference. Longer than a trilogy.
really,
So, yeah, the long fantasy epics, 50% of the vote.
And I'm not that surprised based upon what we talk about a lot of the time and what I think has brought a lot of people to our channel.
Yeah. The 50% took that one, 33% for the other, and then for the trilogy. The standalone was the one that was smallest. All right, we're going to end with one last one here today.
For all the marbles.
And there is only one right answer for this, and our viewers knew the answer. Okay,
I
so
will walk out if I have to, if I get this wrong.
which of these is the greatest fantasy movie?
There's only one answer.
The Princess Bride.
The choices we had were
That's a good answer.
It's a good answer.
It's
And-
wrong, but it's a
it's
good
wrong.
answer.
and in some of these the option was a series, but it's
Okay,
but
so
the-
it doesn't have to be one movie.
the series is clearly one story arc over the course of a
What
number
he's
of
saying
movies.
is he didn't have to put the Fellowship, the
Fellowship,
Two
the Two
Towers,
Towers,
and
and
the Return of
to
King
the
King. He
King.
just put the Lord of the
So
Rings.
the choices were Harry Potter,
Okay.
The Lord of the Rings, the Peter Jackson version, of course,
All right.
The Princess Bride, and The Wizard of Oz, the 1939 OG.
OG.
So, of those four, which of these is truly the greatest fantasy movie?
Well, your audience is going to say Lord of the Rings.
And most people would say the Lord of the Rings, and it wouldn't be close.
Correct. I'm personally not most people.
I think some people might go.
The Princess
Harry
Bride is a
Potter,
heck of a fun movie.
It's a good movie.
But
It truly
Princess
is.
Bride should be second place. I don't think it will be, but I think it should.
Well, hope is restored.
Is it
Because
really?
The Lord of the Rings is 78%.
Oh, of course.
Right.
Yes.
But The Princess Bride is second place with
Hooray!
14%.
That's pretty good for what's
pretty
left.
good.
Followed by The Wizard of Oz
No.
with 5%, and Harry Potter only gets 3% of the vote. This is out of almost
Wow.
300 people who voted for this one.
Wow.
That's huge. That's great. Because don't get me wrong, they're not the best, most faithful adaptations, but they're enjoyable movies, and as a whole thing, they are good.
Look, I
The
enjoy
rolling
them.
hate is
Wow.
strong.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Look,
So-
I'm also not a Rowling fan. Like I said, I've only read one Harry Potter book, The Philosopher's Stone. Didn't really like it.
I
I
am
can
a,
enjoy the movies.
I am a Daniel
sometimes.
Radcliffe fan.
There you go.
Yeah,
That's a good
I think those are great movies. They are also rewatchable. Very
Yeah.
rewatchable.
Have you seen Horns?
No, not yet.
Weird indie film that Daniel Radcliffe did.
Yeah.
Very entertaining.
How about the Woman in Black, Lady in Black?
Oh my god.
I heard that's very, very good.
I watched that in high school. I was in
Again,
a high
Daniel
school-
Radcliffe.
That man
Listen.
got famous and rich enough that he just does things that he thinks are worth it, and it works.
The Woman in Black, I saw it I think it was my senior year of high school. It was in a high school film class, the last period of the day, and a recurring theme is the specter, if you will, appearing in mirrors.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just say my drive home was very dangerous.
All right. I hope you guys enjoyed this. This was fun. Thanks for being with us for this, choosing to do so. We could have just sat around, ate more food, and talked about stupid stuff. Instead, we just drank things and talked about stupid stuff. It was
And-
much more
yeah.
fun.
And now it's pie time.
Now it's pie time. We were letting the food digest. This is true. This is now Thanksgiving. We did this the day after Thanksgiving when we were still eating the Thanksgiving food because there's a lot of it.
Leftovers.
Yeah. You guys know the leftovers is the best part of Thanksgiving food, right? Right? If you enjoyed this episode, let us know because we only talked about, I think, 20, no, not even that many, maybe 16 of the poll questions.
We got a
There's
lot
been-
more.
There's been a lot more than that. So we could do an episode like this again sometime, and that would be fun. We might not be in the same room. We might bring the band together from both Texas and Washington.
We might get Rolly's opinion.
There you go.
He's very opinionated.
Yes.
And if you have more opinions about anything we talked about here today, we'd love to hear that too. Put them down in the comments. I do read them all, and I still try to respond to them all. Occasionally I'll miss one because there's so many, but I try. Any last comments?
Happy holidays.
Hey, happy holidays. Thank you again for both of you choosing to be with us. We appreciate that. Son, nice to be with you in the same room. And that's where we'll leave them. We'll talk to you next time.